All right, here we are again, guys, with your favorite Viking, 50 Cent. Yeah, with my half horns here. Let's look at the map and get started here. We'll be looking at the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel today. Yes, yes, yes. I hope you're excited about it. It's going to be fun. Let's get started without further ado. So, here we go. The rule of King Solomon. When David died, check this out. It's kind of like a dynasty. His son, Solomon, became king. It was Solomon who built a splendid stone temple. What's that city? What's that city? Jerusalem. That's right. It became the symbol and center of whose religion are we talking about? The Jewish religion. In the Bible, Solomon was known for his wise sayings, or we call them, all right, anybody know what they're called? Proverbs. That's where you get the book of Proverbs in the Bible. But many Israelites, they hated his rule. Solomon took their money, so he taxed. He taxed the people to pay for his great buildings. The Israelites in the north were especially unhappy with Solomon. To get more money, Solomon had made many of their young men work in the mines. That's underground. Of a neighboring country. When Solomon died, the northerners, what did the northerners do? The northerners, they rebelled. All right, and fighting broke out. 10 of the 12 tribes set up their own nation in the, in the north. It was called the Kingdom of Israel. That's right, the Kingdom of Israel. They set up that nation, the Kingdom of Israel. Very good. All right. And its capital was Samaria. And in the south, how many tribes are left? Other 2 tribes founded the smaller kingdom of Judah. The smaller kingdom of Judah. And I'll show it to you again. Here's Judah. Here's Israel. Very good. So, 12 tribes are dividing themselves. Its capital was the city that David started and Solomon finished, Jerusalem. All right, and its people were called, what were they called? Its people were called Jews. All right, while the Israelites were, all right, what were they doing to their kingdom? They were dividing their kingdom. The Syrians and Chaldeans were building empires in Southwest Asia. These people wanted to control what type of route did you want to control to become rich? The trade routes that ran through the Israelites' kingdoms. Small and weak, the kingdoms of Israel and Judah felt threatened by their powerful neighbors. All right, let's look at the prophets. Who were the prophets? During this troubled time, many Israelites forgot when you have trouble, sometimes you go to, sometimes you go away. They forgot their religion. The rich mistreated the poor, and the government officials, they stole money. Sounds familiar, huh? The prophets wanted to bring the Israelites back to God's what? God's laws. All right, their special message was that being faithful meant more than going to a temple or a church to worship. It meant working for you could say better, but I'm going to say a fairer or a just society. The prophet Amos said that justice should roll down like water and righteousness as a mighty stream. The goal of a just society became an as important part of Christianity and an important part of Islam. So what caused the fall of Israel? The warlike, those people that's always beating everybody up. Assyrians, that's right, were feared everywhere in the region. When they conquered a nation, the Assyrians, they came in and destroyed its main buildings and scattered the population. Assyrians then settled in the territory. And in 722 BCE, the Assyrians conquered Israel and scattered the 12 tribes across the empire. Over time, the Israelites who were forced to move lost their religion and way of life. They are often called the lost tribes of Israel. Up here, this should be just the 10 tribes that lived in Israel, not all of them. The Assyrians settled the area around Samaria and became known as the Samaritans. The Assyrians settlers were afraid that Israel's, check this out, they were afraid of the God. The Assyrians were afraid of Israel's God. They were afraid that he might punish them for taking the Israelites' land, so they offered sacrifices. All right, to, it should say, to Israel's God. They also read part of the Hebrew Bible, which is the Torah, and followed the Israelites' religious laws. After many years, the Samaritans worshipped only the God of Israel. Now, here's what's crazy. The people of Judah, Judah, am I spelling this right? Oh, yes, no, I'm not. The people of Judah looked down on the Samaritans. They believed that God accepted only the sacrifices from the temple at, what's their city in Judah? Jerusalem. That's right. They did not believe that God or that other people were God's people too. So I wonder, why do you think Judah will fall? Now, only the small kingdom of Judah was left of the once proud empire of, who started it all? David. It did not last long because the Egyptians conquered it in about 620 BCE. The Jews were able to keep their king, but paid tribute to Egypt. However, the Egyptian rule was cut short when the Chaldeans conquered Egypt in 597 BCE. The Chaldeans became the rulers of Judah. At first, the Chaldeans treated the Israelites like the Egyptians had before. They allowed the Jews to keep their king as long as they paid tribute. Several years later, the Jews, what would the Jews do? The Jews rebelled, or the Jews, what did the Jews do? Oh, my brain's going crazy. The Jews united, there you go, with the Egyptians to rebel against the Chaldeans' invasion until 597 BCE. That year, King, the guy's name is Nebuchadnezzar. We met him before. Of the Chaldeans captured Jerusalem. He punished the Jews severely. He made 10,000 Jews leave the city and live in Babylon, the Chaldean capital. Then he anointed a new Jewish king. Soon, the new king of Judah was planning a revolt against the Chaldeans. A prophet named Jeremiah warned him that another revolt was dangerous, but the king did not listen. And in 586 BCE, he revolted. This time, the Chaldean ruler crushed Jerusalem. He destroyed the temple, bound the king in chains, and took him and thousands of Jews to Babylon. In Jewish history, this time became known as the Babylonian captivity. Yes, it did. All right, let me show you just a little bit and then fill out the rest of the bottom of this. All right, check this out. Check this out. All right, let's go up here. All right, I want to look at some of Solomon's Proverbs. Check it out. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish son is a sorrow to his mother. Don't be a fool. Riches taken by wrongdoing do no good, but doing what is right and good saves from death. That means don't steal. The Lord will not let those who are right with him go hungry, but he puts to one side the desire of the sinful. Check this one out. He who works with a lazy hand is poor, but the hand of the hard worker brings riches. So work hard and you'll be wealthy. Last one. A son who gathers in summer is wise, but a son who sleeps during gathers time brings shame. All right.